How's it going, guys? It's Friday. It's January is it 19th? Yeah. Today's the 19th. I just want to check in. I'm a little defeated today. One of the things I submitted to, I sent it out last night, and it was not accepted. So I sent out a few pitches, and basically it was not what they were looking for. I don't know the lingo for the most part. If someone says the story sounded great, but they're not what we're looking for. I think, yeah. All right. So basically, it's like I don't know. It doesn't get easier. Getting turned down for anything, especially if it's something you legitimately want. This one hurt because I believed in the stuff I pitched. I did research. I did little things here and there, and it's like I said before. I got it to the point where the flavor that I wanted it to be, I got it to that, but then it went to someone else, and they didn't want that flavor. So yeah, and what I really enjoy about pitching in bursts, say if you have, they give you 3 pitches, but you use all 3 strikes, is that it just brings you closer to that 1,000 no's. There's 1,000 no's as the answer to every author's stuff in their lifetime, before they start hearing yeses all the time. I think Stephen King got 1,000 no's on the idea of a car that wants to kill its driver, and now whenever he wants to do something, oh, you want to do a Western? Go ahead. Oh, you have a scary lamp idea? Go ahead. I could have sworn Stephen King retired from writing about 10-15 years ago. Did that not happen, or did he just retire from a certain genre, or someone answer that in the comments, please, or on my Instagram, MWKayal, which is also the same as my Twitter, MWKayal, at MWKayal, MWKayal. So what I'm curious about, whether or not I want to do it or not, because I didn't do it the last time, because I felt passionate and confident about the stories that I wanted to tell, because it's the same submission. I've been turned down twice by these. Well, 6 times if you go pitch by pitch. So I told stories that the last time I pitched them ideas for their anthology that were a little bit what I thought was the line of interesting, but not. Alright, here's my idea on, just to change gears, because this is how I view creative endeavors, and whether or not you're being a hack or is how many hoops did you jump through and how big were the hoops? Because one of the greatest movies of all time, Goodfellas, that's a gangster story. That's a hoop. Then you have a guy growing up. That's the biggest hoop. Like, growing up is the easiest hoop of all time, because all you have to do is show a progression of time, and it's how many hoops are inside of that make it interesting. Ray Liotta starts out as a kid, shows him growing into a guy, and his relationship with the mob, because how clearly you showed his relation, or Scorsese showed his relationship to the mob in his lifetime. Like, the fact that, like, the one line, it's like we weren't full Italian, so we're never gonna get in. But Joe Pesci was full Italian, and he was our guy. He was our in. And then you get to, like, Robert De Niro's character, where you don't know if Joe Pesci was his meal ticket or if he was his real best friend. And like, how many hoops were in Goodfellas? More than I can count. It's like every aspect is a hoop, and if you jump through it perfectly and you hit the right notes, it's a thing of beauty. It's the reason why I say jumping through hoops is because when you watch a gymnast, or you watch the Olympics, and you see that a tenth of a second costs you a medal, like 100th of a second is the difference between first and last in a race, or something like that. It's like the minute details. And when you watch gymnastics, and I can't judge gymnastics for the life of me. I don't know what's harder than what. I see these young people bouncing off mats, like getting full sprints, and they work their asses off, because to be an Olympic athlete, you have no life. You have the sport. That's all you have. And the stories that I pitched, I was confident in the number of hoops I was throwing in there, that if I jumped through them properly, if I found the right artist properly, it would have been better. Now, this is just a curiosity of mine, but when you pitch a story, just a story, all there is words on a page, and you're limited to one page, because I've done editing before on pitches, and I've had people show me poorly written novels as pitches. Like, that's what it comes down to. And one of the personal growths I try to have is just don't judge the quality of the work based on your taste and based on what's being presented to you, because these guys have the drive to actually put something down and get something made. At the very least, they made that document, and you got to respect that effort. So if there's anything wrong with the pitch, and I understand it, it's not my project. I'm asking for a seat at the table. I'm being asked to show what can I bring to the table, and it's too much of a question mark. I mean, or it's the wrong thing to bring. You can't bring pizza to a barbecue. I'm sorry, but it flies in the face of the very concept. A pizza, you can either have a pizza party or you can have a barbecue. And unfortunately, I was the Hawaiian pizza at the barbecue this time, 3 times over. So there's that. I'm going to mourn the loss of this a little bit more, probably till the end of I'm done recording. But anyway, so on to different things. I could have them. I could do them myself. I actually like these stories, and I've had these stories in my head, and it's not like I geared them towards this, but like the concepts that I was researching, and like they applied. So I should do a poll on that on Twitter. It's like, or Facebook. You know what? I'll do a Facebook punt. I don't care. So I have my idea down for the Go City 5x5 competition, and I think I have an artist willing to work with me on it. So there's that. I was just thinking about like minute details that make a story better, like from panel to panel. Like continuity is something that you can easily get bogged down with in comics and doing a scene, and it's also something you can completely throw out the window and it might still work. Like you see a guy running to a door. Now this is very old discussions with film editing. You can so anyway, film editing, guy walks up to a door, you show him opening up the door, and then cut to him leaving the other side of the door. And that was the way a lot of like films were cut. But then the French New Wave happens, and all of a sudden I want to say it was Breathless, or the one guy has the dude driving, and it's like going back and forth between him going up and down the road. It's picture like cuts of him, like you're not showing like it's making the audience like think or do the mental lifting of realizing, oh, he was behind the car, they cut close to him, now he's in front of the car while driving, so obviously he passed him. Stuff like that. With comics, it's kind of the same way, in that you can, if you want to pad out the way things happen, do it like animation cells, where you see every action set up, paid off, and whatever. However, there's ways you could do it, like the way the French New Wave did it, in that you just skip ahead. You make the reader realize that there is time jumps, like flash forwards, flashbacks, things happening ongoing at the same time, and it's all a matter of layout and how things go. So what I really want to show off in the 5x5 at the very least is the craft of, okay, he was going really fast before, he's in a new panel, and there's something in front of him, and he's going too fast, he's got to slow down, like stuff like that. Or like it was raining 5 minutes ago, but it's not now, but he's still wet. Because the character I'm using on this story is going to be a guy, and so I'm going to get working on the script for that, because that's the next big thing, and like it's the most not urgent, but there's a time limit on it, so I have to do it soon, and I have to be ready for it, and hopefully it's like what I have in my head is like really good. So next thing, like, I gotta get done is I gotta really work. Like, I have to do 3 more chapters of Whatever Happened to Shield Lad. I really do, because I have 3. I didn't touch it at all because I've been busy at work, which is dumb on my part, because it's not that I don't have time. I have time. It's like think about this. If everyone didn't check their phones for 1 day and just realize how much time they have dedicated to checking their phone, and if every time that I just checked Twitter or Instagram, or because I'm in a position where I don't even get that many likes. I have less than 100 followers, if that, and I average 5 or 6 likes per thing, maybe, because so many of the people that follow me are bots. Like, I just know, I want to say I have more bots than actual followers in my Instagram feed, and which, by the way, you can, if you're seeing this, MW Kayal, you can follow me, and I'll give you interesting landscape photography, comic book stuff, food, like general goings on things, and when I'm writing stuff, I will put it out there. And like, I don't want to start. The one thing I don't want to do is share my research, because I don't want to show people what I'm researching, visuals and all that stuff, because then it gives people the idea that of what I'm going for. And because I'll give you an example, Warren Ellis. I'm a huge Warren Ellis fan. I love his stuff, and I used to read his blog religiously. Unfortunately, whenever I read a novel he was working on, or a comic that finally came out, or even when he did Castlevania on Netflix, that anime show, he was one of the creative forces on that one, and I could see his blog all over everything that he was producing. Like, he wore his influences on his sleeve, but if I hadn't read his blog, I would have been introduced to so many concepts before I read the work. So, like, it influenced my liking of the work, and that isn't a bad thing, but it's one of those things that nags at you, in that because when you're introduced to it through a blog, you're getting it through a non-dramatic, you're getting it through a very academic way. But when you get it through a movie, you get it through a comic book, in a story. When you get it in story form, you don't get to know everything, but you get to appreciate it differently. And the fact that it was screwing around with my appreciation of the story, same thing, different medium. Film. Like, I love movies. I love watching movies. I like watching bad movies once, so that I can at least, like, take from it what it is good at and all that. However, I used to go on IMDb and just learn about who made the film and what else have they done. And one of the things I noticed was, if I was watching a movie I did not like, a movie that I saw no value in, but I looked at the director, I looked at the writer, and I realized, oh, I like all their other stuff. And I've read interviews by them, and I know what they're about. So my brain started to take the stuff that they were making and apply other things. Like, and I was bringing stuff to the table, and to change gears for a second on visuals, I was bringing my own hot sauce to the table to put on the meal so that I would like it better. And what was happening was I was missing the value in the work. Like, bad pizza is bad pizza, but it's still edible. Like, bad pizza with the hot sauce I really like is much better, and I was becoming aware of that, so I just stopped doing it for the most part. And like, I'll give you an example. All right. Neville Dean and Taylor. These guys made the 2 Crank movies, and they also made a couple other movies that were studio. Like, one of them was Gamer, another one was Jonah Hex, and I'm watching these movies and I'm waiting to like them. I'm waiting to like them because I like Neville Dean and Taylor on what they do. I love the Crank movies, and there's not that there. And you could probably apply this to any director that you follow. And then you start, and here's another thing, reviews. If a movie gets a lot of great reviews from people you respect, and you go to watch it, you're like, I really don't like this. And part of it is you got to learn to think for yourself, but you start making excuses for the movie. Like, my cousin recommended to me Gummo by Harmony Korine, and Gummo is not that great of a movie. I mean, the craft is there. I will say that. The craft is there. However, it is long, not so much meandering, but certain things, like, I think they just had extra film, so they just kept going with certain shots, and I don't recommend it. I mean, like, if you're gonna watch something like that, I'd say go John Waters or one is Clark. If you go with Clark, like, Clark made a couple good movies. I always get the guy's name mixed up if it's Larry or Lenny. I want to say it's Larry Clark. Like, that guy that guy knows how to get teen actors or kids on screen to be realistic kids. Like, that's what he's good at. I do not recommend like Year 2000 Caveman, I think, was one of his films. Like, the scenes where the kids are hanging out, great. Everything else sucked. Bully is like a low budget masterpiece, and it's tough to watch at times, but I'll say this about it: it is engaging, and you will it's one of those movies that I was drawn in. But same deal. Like, other movies, I haven't seen Kids. I've had people describe Kids to me, and I really don't want to watch it. Like, not because I know how it ends, but it's just like it's not my, like, something that appeals to me. So where the hell am I going with this? I was having a discussion with a buddy of mine about this channel, and he's like, so Matt, you getting any views? And I was like, nope. Like, I could probably interview like really bad people or people who have giant secrets, and I could put like their secrets on the internet and they would be safe. I mean, that's how many views I'm getting on this. So I got to start figuring out how to get views on this, because YouTube changed its monetization thing, where you have to have 1,000 viewers watch 4 hours of content. Now, I don't know if it's the 1,000 viewers or the 4 hours of content each, or if it's just a total of 4,000 hours like per month to get paid off of your advertisements. But yeah, so anything that you start, you know you're gonna have to eat or take it on the teeth the first couple of years. And like, this is not my job. This is something that helps me out with the things that I'm doing. This is a vlog about what I'm trying to do, more so than like my source of income, because like, I'm realistic. I know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't have fans because I'm not an internet model, but one documentary I would love to do is, like, I would, for 1 month, start a new Instagram, start a new Twitter, and I would have like other people that are different than me, like mostly hot women, do the exact same post that I'm doing, and seeing how many like likes and follows they get versus what I get. So just to see what people react to, and to have the same hashtags, have the same all that, get the same recommendations, and see what happens. I would love to do that documentary for a month. So, like, that's an idea for the future. Alright, what do I have going on this weekend? I am going to watch 2 football games. I am really hoping that Jacksonville beats up the Patriots and wins, because I really don't want to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl again. Like I've seen the Patriots in so many Super Bowls, and they're already the greatest team of the last 20 years. I don't care. Tom Brady is going to be the best quarterback of all time, just because of what he's accomplished. And like, take the rings out of it, just the production that he's giving to his team at almost either 40 or almost 40 or whatever. So then the other game is going to be Vikings versus Eagles, and I really don't have a horse in that race, just because like whoever wins, they've never won a Super Bowl, but I don't want either of them to win if it's Jacksonville, because don't get me wrong, I would not mind seeing either the Eagles or the Vikings win a Super Bowl, so that there's one less team that hasn't won a Super Bowl. That being said, the fact that Blake Bortles is not the best quarterback, and that defense is elite. Like, I enjoy seeing like all-time defenses, because that's what Jacksonville makes me think, that they are all-time. They are just that talented. But like, there's something about like defenses winning games that just puts a smile on my face. So that's 2 of the things. I'm definitely going to do a live stream eventually of me building that camera rig. So maybe I'll do that tonight, maybe not, who knows. So, all right, let's let you guys go on with your day. All right, peace.